Welcome to Times Have Changed podcast, in which we realize that some people are not that strong and can't accept change. Which, by the way, I'm your host Hydro, and let's talk a little bit. Let's just shoot some shits. Uh, my name's Hydro. I've been internet streaming for about 9 years. Um, I've been incarcerated. I was a bad boy. I have two kids. I got a 17-year-old. It's pretty insane. And I'm 36 years old. And we'll just get into today's topics, which we could talk about, back in the day. Like, I can remember everything since I was 4 years old. I grew up in a pretty good family for the most part. They stayed together until they were 18. And, but traumatic injuries and stuff like that. And, family things. It was a lot different times back then compared to what it's nowadays. Nowadays, they would look at it as child support, child, whatever it's called, bad, child abusement or whatever. Which back then that was normal. And shit, man. Let's run down a little bit of memory lane. Okay. Well, I remember when I was 4 years old, and it was about Halloween season, and we had bunk beds. Me and my brother, we lived in the same room, because we were young. And we had bunk beds, and there's always that little crack in between the bed. And my brother had this mask, which scared the hell out of me. I was only 4 years old, and I was on the bunk bed. He told me to go up there. I'm 4 years old. Or maybe he didn't tell me, and I went up there. Regardless, I was on the top bunk. And he fucking popped his head out through the crack, and he scared me so hard that I ran and jumped off the bunk bed, and I smashed my face off of a bureau and bit my lip off. So that's why, like, sometimes you'll notice that, like, kind of like I do like a little fucking Elvis impersonation. Um, this lip does have nerve damage. I bit my lip off. They sewed it on. Very good plastic surgery. You really can't even notice. You see a little bit of scarring, but you got to think of it. At 4 years old, that was like my bottom lip, and that thing was just hanging. And it took them 3 or 4 doctors to hold me down, and they sewed my lip closed. Which, yeah, I wasn't a klutz, but I always noticed that I always get hurt by other people. Even when I was in my older 20s. I'm over here picking on a berm, like picking a berm up. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's like concrete thing that, where you're going to park. They usually have them in driveways. Plow season, they move them. They're not anchored in. And I remember picking one up with another guy, and all of a sudden my foreman steps on it as we're picking it up. And he rips my whole fingerprint right off. Because my finger was underneath the rock. And, yeah. Dumb shit like that. So we're going to talk about random shit and have people got smarter, current times and events. I hope you guys enjoy. Please subscribe, because it really does help me out. Once I get to 50 people, which I'm trying, I only need 39 more people. Once I get to 50, we can start live streaming over there, and then, dude, we can really start cutting the rug and really talk about real good events and stuff like that. And I feel like you guys are really enjoying my channel, and I'm really grateful that you guys actually tuned in and looked at it. And let's get the fucking, what is it, 49 subscribers? Let's get to the 49 subscribers. I think that's all I need. Wish I could start going live. Help me out. I'm going to help you out, because I'm going to take 10 minutes out of your brain throughout your day. At least if I can entertain you, and you're not thinking about how shitty your day was, I've done my job. Thank you. Stay blessed.